Thank you.
But we'll probably head out during the match, so I wanted to say my go pretty quick. Yeah. We always play it back. Like, I could have done this, could have done that. It's not fun. I mean, it's fun to play again.
Check, mic check. What? Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Yep. Right. Are they all here? Is everyone here? It's right there. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2021 VLA Cup Championship match, live from the Ball Sports Academy here in Angola, Indiana. But before we get to the match, we have the announcement of the 2021 VLA Cup All-Tournament team. MVP. I want to recognize these players for their incredible tournaments so far in the VLA Cup. At setter from the Chicago Icemen, number 5, Sendil Thomas. A setter from SoCal Ruckus, number 8, Joe Kawiyakamoa. And opposite from Ruckus, number 1, Michael Wexter. And opposite from San Francisco SportConX, number 18, Colin Hackworth. SoCal Ruckus, number 21, Garrett Como. An outside hitter from the SoCal Rising Tide, number 6, Aaron Kuby. That middle blocker from the SoCal Rising Tide, number 23, Chris Johnson. And an opposite from the SoCal Rising Tide, number 24, Raymond Barsimian. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2021 VLA Cup All-Tournament team. The MVP will be awarded after the match. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the championship match of the 2021 VLA Cup. I'm Rob St. Clair, and you heard it just here, the announcement of the VLA Cup All-Tournament team. Some incredible athletes and unbelievable performances featured in that quick little lineup there that you just saw at the net. But some unfinished business for both of these Southern Californian squads. Ruckus and the Rising Tide facing off in an all-SoCal battle for the championship. Live from the Ball Sports Academy in Northeast Indiana. This has been an unbelievable tournament top to bottom. The level of volleyball has been off the charts, including both semifinals that we've already seen today. The Rising Tide defeating San Francisco's SportConX 3-1. And Ruckus beating the Chicago Icemen in an instant classic match, 3-1, which just wrapped up just about an hour ago. So conditioning will be a factor here for both of these teams, but Ruckus in particular, having finished that match just an hour ago, and they're right back at it. We will introduce the starting lineups, and we'll get you right to the match. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the finals of the 2021 VLA Cup. Before we get to the match, we want to announce the starting lineups. First, on the near side, in gray, Southern California's Ruckus, a 6'6" opposite out of New Lenox, Illinois, number 1, Michael Wexter. A 6'4" outside hitter out of Redlands, California, number 4, Caleb Denmark. A 6'5" setter out of Las Vegas, Nevada, number 8, Joe Kawiakamoa. A 6'7" middle blocker out of Burbank, California, number 13, Max Chamberlain. A 6'7" middle blocker out of Mesa, Arizona, number 14, Mark Olson. A 5'10" libero out of San Jose, California, number 21, Garrett Como. And a 6'3" outside hitter out of Manahawkin, New Jersey, number 24, Liam Maxwell. Ruckus is managed by Christiana Murra and coached by Stefan Brule. And for the Southern California Rising Tide, a 5'9" libero from Monterey Bay, California, number 1, Ryan Rhaenyra. A 6'5" outside hitter from Caen, France, number 6, Aaron Kuby. A 6'3" outside hitter from Los Angeles, California, number 7, Lewis Richard. A 6'4" setter from Manhattan Beach, California, number 8, Rob Malahi. A 6'9" middle blocker from San Clemente, California, number 21, Matt August. A 6'11" middle blocker from Long Beach, California, number 23, Chris Johnson. And a 6'7" opposite from La Crescenta, California, number 24, Raymond Barsimian. The Rising Tide are coached by Ryan Windish and assisted by Michael Ma. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get to the championship match. Ruckus versus Rising Tide, the Ruckus in gray on the near side of your screen, Rising Tide in the beautiful white and blue on the far side. So much to get to about these matches. First and foremost, both out of Southern California, obviously, the teams know each other really well. That will be a factor as this match goes on, and we are underway. Bump set by Malahi to the outside. Barsimian off the touch in rotation 1. Transition opportunity here right away. Wexter goes for the tip down the line, but misses it just a bit short. So the Rising Tide sides out of the often mentioned rotation 1 with the opposite and the outside hitter switched in their pins in that one rotation. Kubi, the outside hitter out of France, misses his first serve of the match. Again, like we mentioned in the pre-show, both these teams winning their semifinals 3-1 this morning, but Ruckus doing so just over an hour ago. And all of these same players, the same starting lineup as that match before. Tight pass, what a play by Malahi. That is a fantastic grab by number 8 in white and blue, the setter out of Pepperdine. And you will hear a lot of Pepperdine names in both these teams. Rob Malahi for the Rising Tide, Michael Wexter, Max Chamberlain, Caleb Denmark, all for Ruckus. Good pass by Como. Chamberlain out of the middle, missed it out of bounds. Little underneath that ball. That's set by Kaliakamoa, maybe a tiny bit too high, or the timing not quite there. So a quick 3-1 start for the Rising Tide and Matt August. Big middle blocker out of San Clemente. Putting in the float serve, a good one, handled by Como again. Wexter on the right side, cross court dug by Belehi, his former college teammate. Barsimian dug in middle back by Maxwell. Transition 31 set to Chamberlain is dug. Richard through the block somehow and down on the Ruckus side. First kill of the match for Lewis Richard, number 7 in blue and white, a 2-time national champion at Long Beach State University. Just finished his first professional season overseas in Denmark. August again, who just signed to play his 3rd consecutive year in the Czech Republic. Ace serve! What a lucky break. Clips the tape and falls short on the Ruckus side. Nothing they can do about that one. Nice quick start here for the Rising Tide in set number 1. 5 serving 1. We play best 3 out of 5 sets to 15 points. You must win by 2. I would not be surprised to see a 5-setter, in which case that tiebreaker would go to 15. What a bomb down the line there for number 4 in gray, Caleb Denmark, also out of Pepperdine. Max Chamberlain with an all-time moment, winning the match earlier today against the Icemen with an ace to win set 4, 28-26, an absolutely perfect serve. Clearly very dangerous back there, and the Rising Tide knows it. Let's see what he's got. Going after that one to position 1, but misses it short. First look at Barsimian, the opposite, out of Concordia University in Irvine. Just finished his college career this year. Tough pass by Maxwell. Denmark way outside the antenna, dug by Radira across court. Kubi out of the pipe off the touch. Deflected by the block of Ruckus and long. Nice piece of offense there in transition for the Rising Tide. You will see Aaron Kubi, the Frenchman out of UC Irvine, get set on that pipe attack everywhere spacing-wise and has all kinds of options. He really likes the off-speed. Good serve by Barsimian again. Even better pass by Como. Good block touch by Chris Johnson against the middle attack. Dumped over by Malahi. Pokey set by Olsen. And now Rising Tide with a transition opportunity. Kubi again! Pounded wrist away. What a start for the Rising Tide. 8-2. This Ruckus team, it's going to be a very serious factor for them to get back to game speed and levels of energy after that draining, tight battle with the Icemen to get to this point. Ace serve! Barsimian beats Maxwell. It is all Rising Tide here early on. And Ruckus is going to take a very early timeout, already trailing by 7. An explosive start by the Tide out of the gate. We'll be right back with more from the VLA Cup Final. That serve missed out of bounds by Barsimian out of the timeout. So good timing on that by Ruckus. Let's see if the serve of Michael Wexter, the opposite out of Pepperdine, can get them back into this thing. Good rip by Wexter, handled well off the net by Rodero. This is Barsimian out of system. Deep cross court, and he puts it away. That is a really good swing. Number 24 in white was just announced before the match as a member of the all-tournament team and very well-deserved. He has been incredible all weekend. Good rip there by Richard, handled by Maxwell, set outside Denmark, rejected by Johnson but kept alive. Transition opportunity here for the Rising Tide again. Barsimian blocked by Denmark but kept alive off the cover. Overpass and a mistake there by Ryan Rodera on the bump set contact on the second ball. Hammered to the floor by Denmark. And he goes back to serve. Nice consistent float serve there from Denmark. Passed a little off the net by Richard. Kubi thrown into the block of Kawiakamoa and missed out of bounds. No touch. I think that hit the tape, not the block. Ruckus is going to take the point on that one. Denmark again. Good pass. Malahi to Barsimian out of the back row. A little bit underset. Como makes the pancake play. But Denmark has to send over a free ball. Johnson absolutely destroyed, but a net violation on the follow-through. Wow, Como got absolutely lit up that time, and Ruckus does take the point on the net violation. So a nice little run here, trying to take momentum back out of the timeout. 6 serving 10. Johnson misses it out of bounds. And it was a serious question mark if Chris Johnson, the 6'11" beast of a middle blocker, was even gonna play in this match. He rolled his ankle this morning. He has, oh, ace serve, oh my goodness. Caleb Denmark, and Ruckus is right back into this at 8:10, and timeout gonna be called by the Rising Tide. Wow, what a turnaround. But just to finish that thought, Johnson definitely battling through an ankle injury for the Rising Tide. We'll see how long he's able to continue and if he can play at 100%. And I know he's a high flyer, but he's also 6'11", so he might not need to max jump every time to still be effective. Ruckus continuing this uphill climb out of the timeout. But they were down 9-2, now 8-10. Impressive comeback. Can the Rising Tide get out of this rotation? Platform set out to Kubi against 3 blockers, and he hits it out of bounds. Wow, the Ruckus run continues, and you knew it was only a matter of time until their energy level got back to where it was in the Icemen match. And here it is. Malahi to Johnson. What a dig by Como. Malahi again. Kubi over the top of the block and down on the Ruckus side. So the Rising Tide finally out of that rotation. Johnson to serve here. Matt August, the middle blocker, number 21 in blue and white, into the front row. Good hand pass by Maxwell. Dumped over by Kawiakamoa. Really well disguised by the all-world setter out of Brigham Young University. Set for a few different teams in A1 Italy before coming back stateside. Has played a lot of outside hitter recently, but for this Ruckus team at his most natural and confident position as a setter. Conservative hybrid that served there from Olsen, kept alive and missed by Matt August. Short into the net, trying to go wrist away. So after that incredibly explosive start for the Rising Tide, here we are tied up at 11. I did not see this coming. Well, perhaps I saw the score coming, but not the way we got here for sure. That serve missed way out of bounds by Olsen. Let me know in the chat, guys. I'm watching here on YouTube, where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, which one of these two Southern California teams is going to win the VLA Cup. Wexter into the block. What a coverage play by Denmark. Set all the way to Maxwell, and he's rejected, and that's a double contact. Barsimian and August were all over that one. So the Rising Tide, after letting that big lead slip away, are back up by 2 with Rob Malahi serving. In comfortable rotations here for the Rising Tide. Big blocking. Touched by Barsimian off the fingertips and out of the reach of a diving Radira. Give the kill to number 24, Liam Maxwell, who had a sensational college career at Belmont Abbey in the Conference Carolinas. A really good all-around player. And a nice pickup for Ruckus, giving them some East Coast representation. Good pass by Kubi here in rotation 1. This is Barsimian! Absolutely clamped by Wexter. Wow, what a block by the Pepperdine combination of Wexter and Chamberlain. Might have to write Lloyd Ball a check for property damage, the way he dented those floorboards. Kawakamoa again. Kubi down the line, missed it out of bounds. Wow. After going down 9-2, Ruckus has stormed all the way back and has taken a lead. This is a ridiculous run, 12-4, the Ruckus run since that start. Kubi rolled into the block, should be covered by Radira, and it is. Kubi tipped into the block of Maxwell, but a net violation committed by the Rising Tide. Wow, the Ruckus run continues. And the way that Rising Tide is built is not to struggle in this rotation 1, but here they are. Unable to really pass the ball and stay in system. That's another bad one. Barsimian outside the antenna. Wow, what a crazy run. Now 14-4 in Ruckus's favor since the 9-2 Rising Tide start. What a massive momentum turnaround. Now it's the Rising Tide searching for some answers. That's a good pass by Kubi. He gets this ball on the right and absolutely crushed down the line. Finally, the Rising Tide out of that tough rotation. And in emphatic fashion, Kubi pounds that one to the floor on the right side and goes back to serve here. Oh, misses that floater short. Something that we saw from the Rising Tide in the match this morning is that they used a really unique 6-2 substitution pattern where they would bring in an opposite for the setter as he got to the front row, but leave the other opposite in to serve and then replace him with a setter after that service rotation was over. We'll see if they go to that again in this match as Maxwell misses the serve that time. Yeah, we very easily could see the combo of the setter Chris Kahns and opposite Raelia Speller for the Rising Tide come in to give a different look and keep a big blocking front row up there. Chamberlain absolutely detonated crossbody. That is awesome quick offense in the middle. You can really see him jumping sideways. Beats the block of Chris Johnson that time, and that is not an easy thing to do. Here's Chamberlain. Oh, rolls that one short, clips the tape, kept alive by Kubi before being absolutely blasted wrist away by Chris Johnson. What a set that time from Malahi. Here's Barsimian looking to bring the Rising Tide back level. Can't do it that time as the serve is missed short. And now here it is, exactly as I was talking about, the 6-2 substitution. Raelia Speller, number 22 in blue and white, the new opposite, and Chris Kahns, number 3, the new setter. Good rip there by Wexter. And I don't know what Ryan Rodero was thinking that time. Kind of threw two fists at it overhead, and it's going to be an ace for Ruckus. So they now lead 20-17, and this crazy run continues. Wexter, a very dangerous server, but that was not one of his hardest. Ace serve again. That one was. That was a blast into the chest of Rodera. And the Rising Tide going to call a timeout here. Wow, I cannot believe this turnaround. The Rising Tide went up 9-2 early, and Ruckus has stormed back. Now leading by 4 here, approaching the business end of set number 1. We'll be right back in a few seconds with the conclusion. Wexter again out of the timeout. 2 aces in a row. Can he make it 3? He certainly tried to that time, but missed it short. So 21-18 here, a score that a lot of teams will simulate in practice. Important in both situations to capitalize on 21-18 leads and to learn how to come back from 18-21 deficits. Good pass by Como. Dumped over by Kawiakamoa, but well read. Speller's first swing of the match goes down the line and misses out of bounds. Missed opportunity there in transition. That was not one of Kawiakamoa's better setter dump attempts. Easily read by Kubi, but then Speller hits it out of bounds. 22-18, Denmark here. Not a good pass by Rodera. Kubi over the top of the block, dug by Denmark. Kawiakamoa runs it down by the bleachers, but can't quite keep it back in play. So this is not over yet, 19-22. Rising Tide here on the serve of Chris Johnson with a big blocking front row. Speller, August, and Kubi needing a run to bring this one back. Good pass by Denmark. Olsen blocked by August, really well covered. Kahns picks up the setter dump. Big swing here from Speller, very important. What a diving play by Denmark. Not a very good set that time from Como. Wexter sends over the free ball. Where does the Rising Tide go here in transition? Kubi one-on-one. Absolutely demolished cross court. And Como not quite able to make what would have been a pretty spectacular defensive play. The Ruckus lead trimmed to 2. Maxwell, what a cover off the block. Free ball here for the Rising Tide. Richard sets Kubi. And down on the Ruckus side. Rattles through the block of Mark Olsen. Wow, what a crazy back and forth set number 1 we've had. But here we are at 21-22. After the crazy runs by both teams, Johnson continuing in an unexpectedly really good rotation for the Rising Tide. What a dig by Kahns. Sent over as a free ball by Richard. Oh, a hit on 2 by Kawiakamoa, but dug again. Speller high off the hands. Oh, Kawiakamoa fired to Olsen on the gap set in transition, and that's good enough to score. Some really good off-ball setting by the Rising Tide. That one from Lewis Richard in middle back to Speller on the right side was a beauty. 23-21 Ruckus here, and a service sub going to come in, number 55, Eric Ensing. Back up opposite out of Long Beach State, the older brother of national team opposite Kyle Ensing. Keeps that one in play, handled pretty well by Rodera. This is Speller on the right side, into the block of Maxwell and slowed down, but a Ruckus net violation gives the point to the Rising Tide. Malahi back into the game, as is Barsimian for the Rising Tide. Undoes the 6-2, down only by 1. What a set from Kawiakamoa. Wexter can barely handle it. Good block touch there by August to slow it down. Kubi for the tie. Picked up by Maxwell. Wexter, what a dig by Richard. Just incredible volleyball here. Kubi again. Como makes the play. Denmark through the block, stabbed at by Radira, but overpassed. Chamberlain on the roll shot out of the middle. Wow, what a sequence in that play and in these last several points. Just a ridiculously high-level set of volleyball we're seeing here. And Ruckus are going to have 2 opportunities to get on the board here in set number 1, 24-22. Smart little gamesmanship here by the Rising Tide to clean off the court and slow down the pace of this thing. Kind of helps to let everybody catch their breath. What a ridiculous couple points that was. Kaliakamoa serving for the set. Kubi on the right side, and he missed it out of bounds, and that's it. Wow, what a turnaround. Ruckus takes the first set of the VLA Cup final by a score of 25-22 in a set of volleyball that had absolutely everything. Fortunately for you all watching, there is a lot more coming. Set number 2, just a few minutes away. Stick around. What a first set of volleyball that was from the finals here of the 2021 VLA Cup. I'm Rob St. Clair. Thank you guys so much for watching live on the YouTube channel. Just ridiculous volleyball played all weekend. The 2 semifinals this morning were absolutely electric. And that set 1 here in the final between these 2 Southern California squads absolutely delivered. A game of runs, the likes of which we've barely seen. Definitely not this weekend so far. Both these teams with so much talent and experience and deep benches. That is going to be a factor in this match. Some of these teams, one, maybe both of them, are going to have to go and get some serious contribution from their benches. You've already seen the Rising Tide do it with the 6-2 there in that set. Expect to see that again, and we'll see if Ruckus keeps the same starting 7 or inserts a couple more guys. A very interesting high-level strategy between the coaching staffs, little adjustments being made, and like I said, these 2 teams really familiar with one another, having scrimmaged a bunch in Southern California leading up to this event. So a lot of good stuff going on here on the court. Thanks everyone for joining us live on the YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel if you're not already. It'll be the Rising Tide serving on the near side of your screen. Starting the same way with Malahi and Barsimian, the setter and opposite. We'll see if they bring in the 6-2. No changes for Ruckus either, starting in rotation 6 receive with Kaliakamoa, the very offensive setter up in the front row. Right on cue. Thrown to the floor by Kaliakamoa on 2. He had a bunch of attacking attempts in the semifinal against the Chicago Icemen. And continuing that theme of using his size to score points when he's in the front row. Big attack to Richard through the block of Chamberlain and down. And that's an aspect of both of these offenses, that I expect to see a lot more. The Rising Tide in particular really use that play. The outside hitters coming barreling in out of middle back, especially Aaron Kubi, who's serving right here, but misses just out of bounds. Watch here in this rotation, Kubi passing, Kubi number 6 in blue and white, passing on the right side, might stay and run that bick right where he is behind the setter. He's done that a lot this weekend. That's exactly where he goes with his approach path, but the ball actually finds its way to Matt August, who hammers it wrist away. August, middle blocker out of Irvine Valley College, just signed to play his 3rd professional season consecutively in the Czech Republic. A very big, athletic, and well-polished middle blocker. Wexter on the right, nice, smart swing. Off the fingertips of Lewis Richard, now to play. Wexter, one of the very best athletes I have ever watched play the game of volleyball. The dude practically walks on air. But even someone that's superhuman does get tired. Good rescue by Radira. That ball's kept alive. Free ball opportunity here for Ruckus. Wexter again challenges the block, kept alive by Barsimian. Absolutely crushed cross court, but what a dig by Chamberlain. Tipped into the block by Wexter and rejected. Lewis Richard wags the finger saying, "Not in my house." These dudes are unleashing on the ball right now. That swing by Richard was about as hard as he could hit a ball, and Chamberlain ate him alive. Here's Barsimian, speaking of hitting the ball as hard as he can. Good rip there, but an even better pass by Maxwell Olsen out of the middle. What a pass by Liam Maxwell that time, set up that in-system offense. And Olsen up quick, beats the block of Chris Johnson. Oh, serve clips the tape, one-handed by Johnson. Actually a pretty good pass, and then absolutely blasted down the line by Barsimian. What a cool play. Johnson, casual as anything, like backhanded flippered that first contact, and it was perfect right on the setter's head. Johnson has been playing a lot of beach lately in his career, and you can tell. Tied up at 4. Here's Richard. Oh, misses that one just barely short. Denmark keeping that ball in play. Hand pass pretty well by Radira. Kubi is absolutely clamped by Kawiakamoa. What a block that time from Ruckus, with Olsen there as well. My goodness, that's one of the very biggest blocks of the entire weekend. 6-4 Ruckus now. Little miniature run developing. Kubi again. That is a really good high swing. Deflects off the fingertips of Kawiakamoa long, and a nice repeat set there by Malahi. An aspect of setting, or certain setters that will appear in scouting reports if they have a tendency to go right back to a hitter immediately after he's been blocked or made an error. That pass by the middle blocker Olsen. Maxwell on the left side, good block touch, but a diving Barsimian can't make the play short on the Rising Tide side. Here's Olsen coming with the hybrid. Hasn't really gotten in a rhythm with this serve throughout the weekend, and there's another pretty good example. A very terminal serve and not a very good ace to error ratio individually from Mark Olsen. Here's Malahi. Perfect pass. Nobody up on Wexter. What a set that time by Kawiakamoa. Just fantastic setting. And there was no block in the world anywhere close to slow down Michael Wexter that time. Good ball by Malahi. What a dig by Kawiakamo off the Kubi swing. Wexter again, thrown into the block, but covered. Tipped over by Maxwell. Big opportunity here for the Rising Tide in transition. August, dug by Como. Another good set, but Wexter is rejected down the line by Barsimian. Nice play there by number 24 in white and blue, getting all the way out to take Michael Wexter's line away. Pretty clearly his favorite shot, just if you've watched the guy play a lot before. Good short serve by Kubi. Maxwell's out of the play. Excuse me, Denmark was out of the play. That's Maxwell on the right side. Kubi out of the pipe. Off the high fingertips and out of play. And that is exactly what I'm talking about with the different aspects of positioning that the Rising Tide uses on that big attack. Kubi and Malahi have got to really communicate at a high level to keep that spacing organized. Not a good service error that time by Kubi. I don't hate his float serve, but I kind of think he should just be getting up and ripping the jump spinner. We've seen it throughout the weekend. Here's Maxwell, just so rock solid and consistent. Good pass by Radira. Richard unloads cross court off the fingertips of Wexter and out of play. Johnson back into the front row for the Rising Tide, the 6'11" middle blocker out of Cal Baptist, and I agree with Blair Lambert in the chat. Cal Baptist, idiots for cutting that program. Some serious talent came out of there. Good float serve by August, but an even better pass. Chamberlain absolutely destroyed crossbody. Wow, what a blast by number 13 in gray, coming off his right sideline, just keeping that momentum on that line, barreling through the middle. Good rip down the line by Chamberlain, kept alive by Radira. Barsimian will take it out of system swing. Dug by Kawiakamo, but overpass, tipped out of the middle by Johnson. Chamberlain makes the play. Wexter challenges the high hands, and he gets it off the fingertips of Johnson and away. Really good high-level swing that time. And you've got to be up pretty high in the air if you're going to be challenging the block of Chris Johnson and scoring off the fingertips. Here's Chamberlain again. I mentioned he had the game-winning ace in the semifinals this morning. Of course, right as I say that, he buries one in the middle of the net. Ten serving 11 here. Barsimian and the Rising Tide down a set to none after a crazy back and forth first set. This one a little bit more side out efficient. Oh, that ball barely out of bounds. It is only a matter of time until Barsimian goes on a run. But when is it gonna be? Good rip by Wexter, overpassed opportunity here in transition. Wexter out of the back row, pounded down the line. I love that set choice by Kawiakamoa. When you get a transition opportunity off a really good jump serve on your side, set that guy in the back row to keep him hot. I love that play. Wexter cuts that one short, handled really well by Kubi. Richard one-on-one. Absolutely destroyed sharp cross court. And even a libero as good as Como couldn't keep that one off the floor. Here is Richard out of Long Beach State. Like I mentioned, not a big outside hitter at about 6'3", but as athletic as anyone in this gym and a really good arm. That toss pretty far out in front of him, had to go and try and chase it. (14-11) the score in favor of Ruckus. Not a good pass that time by Richard. Kubi will take it out of system swing. Really well located high into the deep cross court corner. Around a triple block and out of the reach of a diving Como. That is a really high level swing. (12-14) now. Johnson serving against Ruckus, rotation 5. Let's see if Olsen gets involved offensively here. Yes, he does, right on cue. Not a good ball handling play there by Malahi, but we play on. Joust won by Olsen, kept alive here on the Rising Tide side. Big play here, Kubi down the line. And Ruckus complaining about a potential double contact, but I'll give this officiating crew here this weekend a ton of credit. They have been extremely consistent, not calling hardly anything in a ball handling sense. And consistency in that area is all you can ask for. Dumped over by Kawiakamoa again. He is so good at disguising that play. Service sub in again here for Ruckus, number 55 in gray, Eric Ensing. Replaces Olsen. I like this substitution a lot. 15-13 Ruckus. As Rising Tide cleans off the floor on their side. What's Ensign got here? Ice cold off the bench. This is a tough job. And he fails to deliver that time, but somebody's got to do it. This is a role that you have to really go out of your way to prepare for as a player if you're going to be called upon to come off the bench as a service substitute. Here's Malahi, trailing only by 1, working down the line on Como's hands that time. What a stuff block by Matt August. Oh my goodness. That ball hit the floor before either of the attackers did. Wow. Tied up at 15. And Ruckus, a team with almost no weaknesses, but if there is one of them I can pick out, it is their float service reception. They struggled at a couple moments against the Chicago Icemen earlier today. That's a really good one. Somebody touched the net there on the way up. No call. And hammered cross court by Kubi and down on the Ruckus side. Rising Tide are going to take the point, and Ruckus is not happy about that no call on a potential net violation. I thought for sure I saw the net move. Malahi now with the Rising Tide leading by 1. That same serve down the line on Como, not a good hand pass. Maxwell is rejected by Barsimian. Had to get his feet way inside of that ball. And a nice adjustment by Barsimian, lining up in the exact right spot. August there as well. And a nice little run here by the Rising Tide. They take a 2-point lead and Ruckus responds with a timeout. Okay, a continuously competitive matchup. Narrowly going the Rising Tide's way here lately. 17-15 set 2. But they trail 1-0. Now this is where this battle between these two Southern California rivals starts to get pretty interesting. A little chippiness happening here. The officiating having something to do with that, but these teams know each other well, starting to get some conversations going on through the net. That's a really good swing by Liam Maxwell down the line. And unless it's really out of control, I like that. I like these two teams having a little bit of words after the plays. That makes it really fun to watch. Good float serve by Kawiakamoa. No net violation called there. Transition opportunity here. Maxwell absolutely blasted sharp cross court, and we're tied up at 17. Excellent timeout there by Ruckus, stringing together a couple points and tying this thing up at 17. And we saw in set 1 Rising Tide's weakness here in siding out of rotation 1. Another tight pass, one-handed set from Malahi to Barsimian. That ball kept alive. Free ball opportunity here for the Rising Tide. August absolutely pounded right down the middle.
Wow, the level of play that we're seeing in this gym, an all-time high right now. Kubi now serving against Ruckus's rotation 1. Chamberlain returns the favor. My goodness, absolutely unloading out of the middle with no block there to stop him. Radira looked like he got shot that time, taking that ball right to the chest. 18-18. Maxwell, pretty conservative jump serve, handled really well by Kubi. Barsimian on the right side. What a dig by Kawiakamoa. Set over the net, rising tide opportunity here. Kubi out of the background. I think that was touched by Barsimian on its way out of bounds, and yes, it was. Called right away by the line judge on the far side. That's a really good call. That would have been a kill for Aaron Kubi, but Barsimian unable to get out of the way. So Ruckus this time takes the lead, 19-18. Another really good pass by Kubi. August is rejected by Chamberlain. Wow, what a battle here between these two middle blockers these last couple points. Taking turns detonating offensively, and then a big block there by Chamberlain triggers the Rising Tide timeout. Nice turnaround by Ruckus. I think it was 17-15 Rising Tide at the last timeout. That's a 5-1 run. Exactly what you're looking for. Maxwell serving out of the timeout. Big moment here in this match. The Rising Tide desperately need this point. Good pass by Kubi again. Richard, really smart shot. Into the block of Wexter and out of play. Super high level veteran vision from number 7 in blue and white. Exactly what the Rising Tide needed out of the timeout. Kubi talking to August about their defensive positioning after August's serve here. Likes to go 5-5 with the floater. That's exactly where he goes. Como makes the play. Good touch off the attack of Denmark. Transition opportunity here. Barsimian high into the hands. Como runs down the deflection. Off the block of August and out of play. Denmark with the high flat swing. 21-19 Ruckus. An insurance point in this service rotation to Max Chamberlain would be huge. Keeps that one in play, handled by Radira. Barsimian again, sharp cross court, dug and run down. Free ball coming. Johnson missed it out of bounds. And that was not a good free ball pass by Ryan Radira. A big missed opportunity for the Rising Tide. Wow, remember that play. And Rising Tide clearly thinking about it. They're going to call a timeout here again. 22-19 Ruckus. Not succumbing to the Rising Tide's efforts to change the momentum back. Be right back in a few seconds for the end of set number 2. Huge opportunity here. Chamberlain serving, just barely out of bounds. That was close, but I agree with that call. So now Barsimian just finished his sensational college career And a big increase in level this weekend, and he is up to the challenge. Can he deliver in the service rotation? That's a pretty good one. Denmark absolutely slammed through a seam in the block and down. That was not a particularly good block move by Chris Johnson, and I have to wonder if his ankle is really affecting him right now. Set point Ruckus. Or no, excuse me, 23-20, my mistake. Wexter serving, good pass by Radira. No, actually overpassed, but a good touch by Malahi slows it down. Richard had an out of system swing, high into the block, but kept alive. Good stab by Denmark. This is a free ball here for the Rising Tide. They've got to have this. Richard, and they don't. What a block by Mark Olsen. That ball may be a little bit underset, and the Rising Tide has had some crucial free ball opportunities that they have not capitalized on. Now Ruckus with 4 chances to go up 2-0 on the serve of Michael Wexter. Good rip, but it kept alive by Richard. He'll get an out-of-system swing here again. Down the line, dug by Wexter. Denmark, dug by Kubi. Malahi dumped, and the read is made. Crazy scramble here. Hit by Kawiakamoa on 2. Richard runs it down. That's a legal play. Olsen out of the middle, kept alive by Barsimian. Kubi out of the back row. Did he get the touch? No, none called, and that's it. What a ridiculous rally. Won by Ruckus, and that's the way. They have just gone up 2-0 in this championship match. Wow, what a volleyball match we're seeing here between these two Southern California rivals. Ruckus has pulled away in the late stages of both sets so far, and they're 1 win away from a weekend championship. Stick around in just a few minutes. We will see in set 3 if they can pull it off or if the Rising Tide will force more volleyball. Stick around. What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining us. I'm Rob St. Clair. Set number 3 about to come your way here from the finals, the championship match of the 2021 VLA Cup. Some incredible volleyball being played here today by all 4 of our semifinalists. But Ruckus up 2-0. A dream team constructed with the intent to win this tournament, and they are 1 set away from accomplishing that goal. But standing in their way, the Southern California Rising Tide are not going to give this to them for free. I said they might go to their bench. If there's an opportunity to do that, they better take it now. I think you'll see that 6-2 again this set. You saw it in set 1, but not set 2. Rising Tide looking for a couple answers, and Ruckus with so few weaknesses, you just got to do anything you can to slow them down or take them a little bit out of rhythm. Ruckus is conditioning a factor. Like I said, their semifinal was just before this match. So can these starters keep playing with gas and energy in the tank? All those questions and more will be answered here in set 3. Will it be a sweep in the finals, or will we have more volleyball for you? Let's get back to the match to find out. Kawiakamoa will start us off serving on the near side of your screen. For Ruckus, tied, starting in rotation one receive. Really interesting choice. Not a good pass from Richard. Rescued out of the bottom of the net by Malahi. Opportunity here right away for Ruckus. Thrown to the floor by Wexter one-on-one. Wow, the power tip to end all power tips. But I agree with the no lift call. Wexter kept that ball in front of him the entire time. Kawiakamoa again. Not a good pass by Radira again. Kubi rolled cross court, dug easily by Kawiakamoa. Wexter will have another opportunity here. High off the hands and barely out of bounds on the Ruckus side. Quick start here for Ruckus. I cannot believe, to be honest with you, that Rising Tide is choosing to start in rotation one. By far their weakest serve receive rotation. August, what a play by Kawiakamoa off the deflection. Free ball opportunity here for the Tide. August again is rejected by Chamberlain. Wow, that individual battle between those two guys. The upper hand clearly belonging to Max Chamberlain recently. Has stuff blocked Matt August the last two times, going all the way back to last set. 3-0 Ruckus. Kubi thrown into the block and Max one out of play. That is what the Rising Tide needed to get out of that rotation. But now already a little bit of a hole, down 1-3. Kubi's got to put this serve in, and he doesn't. Another service error on the floater, misses short. Here is Maxwell. Rotation 2 receive here for the Rising Tide. Good pass by Radira. Kubi out of the back row, high off the hands of Chamberlain, and Kawiakamoa can't run it down. That is exactly that unique spaced Bic set I was talking about earlier. Kubi passing in position 1 and kind of running straight ahead from where he passes the ball. Good find there by Malahi. 2 serving 4. Not a very good pass by Maxwell. Denmark will take an out-of-system swing. Rolled into the block, but a net violation committed by the Rising Tide. Pretty decent look there for the Tide in transition, negated by that net violation. Chamberlain now serving, looking to extend this early 3-point lead. Not a very good toss. Good job just keeping that one in play. Richard, sharp cross court, and unable to be dug by Chamberlain. Barsimian here. I told you he would have an impact on this match from the service line. That's a really good pass by Maxwell. Wexter, high and hard off the hands of Richard, not a play. That is such a good high-level swing by number 1 in gray. Michael Wexter played a year overseas for Gießen in A1 Germany after his incredible All-American collegiate career at Pepperdine. 6-3. Four serving 6 after the service error. This is Richard. Johnson, Kubi, and Malahi, the Rising Tide blockers. A good rotation, but another service error short for the Rising Tide. Just way too many of those. Here's Denmark. Another service error short. Maybe just exhaustion getting these guys unable to get these float serves to the tape. Johnson gotta put this one in. He does. Pretty good pass by Denmark. Olsen out of the middle, really good block touch. Dumped by Malahi, but read easily by Wexter. Here's Maxwell through a small seam in the block and down. Michael Wexter, Rob Malahi's collegiate teammate at Pepperdine, read that setter dump as if he's seen it 100 times, because he probably has. Olsen back to serve here for Ruckus. Good rip on the hybrid that time by Olsen. Barsimian out of the back row through the block and down on the Ruckus side. Big bailout swing there from number 24 in white. And I'd like to see Barsimian get a little bit more involved in the out-of-system Rising Tide offense. That dude can score from absolutely anywhere against any level of block. Kawiakamoa to Wexter, dug by Malahi, but overpassed and pounded to the floor by Chamberlain. Nine serving 6. Kawiakamoa is setting an absolutely outstanding match right now. Passed a little off the net by Richard. This is Kubi on the right side. Down the line and just barely missed out of bounds long. That is clearly Kubi's go-to shot in this rotation, but we've seen him miss it out of bounds more times than not. Ruckus feeling free to give him that line to swing at. Not a good pass by Radira. That set from Richard out of bounds over the net on the Ruckus side. And the first contact for the Rising Tide has not been very good in the past 10 or 15 points. They're going to call a timeout to talk this over. In real danger of letting this championship match slip away. Ruckus clawed their way back after a huge run in set 1. They were in control for a good amount of set 2, including a nice run in the middle to get a little advantage on the Rising Tide. But right here, the Rising Tide really needing to manufacture some energy. Mikey in the chat, great point. Wexter has had a lot of one-on-one looks, and that is all credit to Joe Kawiakamoa, the setter. There's no way the Rising Tide as a team can afford to give Wexter that many easy offensive chances. But it's because Ruckus has been really in system, and Kawiakamoa is setting a phenomenal match. He continues to serve. That's a really good pass. Barsimian cross-court through the block of Wexter. Another opportunity here for the Rising Tide. Barsimian again off the block of Wexter, but Chamberlain can't find it as it pops straight up and falls on the Ruckus side. So good timeout there for the Rising Tide on the far side of your screen. Getting that point inside out of the timeout, 7 serving 11. Rotation 1 receive here for Ruckus. Maxwell passing and hitting on the right side, number 24 in gray. Not a good pass. This will be Wexter, way out of system on the left, tipped over the top. Malahi makes the play. Barsimian high off the hands. Denmark runs it down. Wexter again with a little bit of a round to house. Richard makes the pancake play. Did Barsimian get the touch off the fingertips of the block? No, he did not. Missed out of bounds. I actually liked that play from Barsimian. He just wanted to get a deflection off the high hands, but barely missed the Ruckus block. Their lead back up to 5. Rising Tide taking their sweet time, cleaning up the floor over there, doing anything they can to slow down this Ruckus momentum, but it's got to come from side out first. Rising Tide needing to control the first contact a lot better. Here's Maxwell. Good serve, clips the tape. Malahi can run this down. Barsimian will take an out-of-system swing. Off the head of Denmark, I think, right between his arms. And it deflects out of play. That's a huge bailout swing from Raymond Barsimian. This is Matt August, number 21 in white and blue, serving. Another float service error from the Rising Tide. I wish I had the stats on how many of those there have been, but the obvious answer is way too many. Chamberlain here up by 5. No reason to not absolutely unleash on this one, and he's a green light server anyway. There it is, missed well out of bounds into the back wall, but really no harm done if you ask me. There are a couple servers on every team that coaches will give the proverbial green light to just go up and hit it as hard as they can, no matter the situation. Other servers, that's not the case. But Barsimian here is one of those guys. Good pass by Maxwell. Denmark, sharp cross court through the block of Johnson and down. And as Ruckus continues to maintain this 4 or 5 point lead, I'm surprised that the Rising Tide hasn't gone to the bench. It particularly now would have made sense to insert the 6-2 like they did this morning. Wexter keeps that one in play. Radira makes the play passing. That's set well outside the antenna to Barsimian, and he can't keep it inside the far sideline. The Rising Tide bench trying to manufacture some energy, but I'm just not feeling it here in the gym. It's all Ruckus right now. Good rip there by Wexter, clips the tape, handled by Kubi. Johnson out of the middle. Off the block of Olsen and down. Here's Richard, big opportunity here in this service rotation. Good one. Passed right on the net by Maxwell, and what an absolute bomb. Oh my goodness, Mark Olsen, you have got to be kidding me.
Capsule.
Whoa, look at the approach path on that one. If you've seen Mark Olsen play, you've seen him run that totally along the net, completely fools the block, and well inside the 3-meter line, bounced straight down. Somebody definitely touched the net there. Who was it according to the down official? It was the Rising Tide. Ruckus are gonna take this point, and the Rising Tide are not happy about this call. Conversation happening with the up official and some of the captains, but I think this call's gonna stand. Yes, it will. 17-10 Ruckus, already up 2-0. No timeout here from the Rising Tide. Good set by Belehi to the outside, and a really nice off-speed play by Aaron Kubi. Tipped short to the floor in position 2. Float serve coming from Johnson. Perfect hand pass by Maxwell. Olsen again. This time cross body. And it was only a matter of time again until Mark Olsen heated up substantially. Had so much impact over these matches in the blocking area offensively recently, and another service sub's going to come in here. Number 6 in gray, CJ Suarez. Backup libero out of Cal State Northridge, replaces Olsen. A very good jump server, but going to go with the float to keep this one in play. Perfect pass. Big attack to Richard, absolutely pounded wrist away. Suarez can't keep it alive, so that service sub will be undone. Good side out there from the Rising Tide, but they're going to need a lot more than that to make this comeback. Float serve just barely out of bounds. Little indecision there from the Ruckus serve receive unit.